What up? The purpose of this video is to go ahead and release the reasons why I do not like this current version of this GTV. This is a very long video. It is in detail of all the information I can think of and why I said what I said and why I say what I say as of still today. So let's go ahead and get right to it. All right, so the reasons why I didn't release the video, it's a couple of them, so I'll go ahead and get started. The first reason I didn't release the video was the reason that I said in the last video. The purpose of that video was pretty much to like go through the unboxing, the reveal of the device. I seen it with you for the first time, so it's not like I pre-rehearsed it. It was no fake like mock-up video to where I've already experienced it and then I'm giving details on how to use it and so on. It was basically, you saw what I saw. You saw how I started it up and got going, and I went into it to try to skip doing a update, and it didn't work out the gate for my TV Online, so then I had to do the update, and the update cleared everything that I did. So fortunately I didn't do a whole lot, but it would have wiped that whole shit out and I would have been mad as I'm gonna try to cut back on the cursing, but y'all get where I'm going. So that's why I didn't get into my feelings per se on that video, because it was basically supposed to be about folks just seeing what the box looks like, what's on it, what's inside of it. I know how it feels to like want something, but you're not too ready to pull the trigger. So why not look at what somebody else says about it? And that's the reason for comments and likes and all that other shit that's on when you buy something from somebody, the feedback. So the feedback is important. All right, so the second reason I didn't release it immediately was because it's not like this thing comes with a manual. Basically, YouTube University is where we all get our information for the most part. So we're looking towards other people that found out, hey, you do this or you do that. Inside the book, inside the box, it gives you a booklet, but that book doesn't tell you, hey, press this button and do this and do that and do that. So you look for more information. So I didn't want to be the like the down person saying, oh, it doesn't do this and oh, it doesn't do that, and speaking beforehand, and then somebody say, oh, well, all you had to do is do this, or all you had to do, and then it'd be like little simple fixes, and for things that I could not have found. It's just little simple things that that was right there in front of my eyes. I just wasn't like witty enough to find it. So for that reason, that's why I didn't release it, because I figured maybe I can't find it yet, and it's not something to gripe about in this video. So let me go ahead and see if it's really not there. And if it's not there, then that's something to really talk about. But if it is, then it would have just been kind of like water under the bridge and a waste of a lot of people's time and getting everybody excited about something that was not really true. So it was better to kind of wait. And I've gotten some answers and some responses on some things that I couldn't find since then. And I'll get into that. All right, so the next reason is I'm not trying to be a hater on Formula. Like, I really fuck with Formula. Like, you gotta understand how I just said that. Like, I didn't say I fuck with Formula. Like, I really like Formula. I think Formula is like the best streaming device maker yet. I've blown through a couple other devices, and by far Formula does it. You hear my kids in the background like raving while I'm saying what I'm saying. Like, I really like Formula. So for that reason, I'm not trying to stop the people's money. Like, they obviously put some effort towards having some kind of panels and probably meetings to say, hey, let's get this Android device, and yeah, we're gonna push it, and so on and so on and so on. And for me to come out with a video like and say, hey, this is trash or whatever, it is not my intent to like kill their vibes. I mean, this box is not for me at the moment. It may be for somebody else. Somebody else may find it like their holy grail or whatever. It's just not for me, but it is for someone. You know, they always say there is someone for everybody, or however that saying is. Yeah. So I say that for this, there is somebody for this. Or you get what I'm trying to say. I'm not being paid to say any of this. I'm not being coerced. Like, one thing about me is, before I get behind something, like, I push a lot of formulas, and first and foremost, I use formula. So like, the device inside and out, I want to know everything about it. So if someone asks me a question, then I can get down into giving them helpful tips or whatever. And generally, I'm not a YouTuber. Like, the videos that I make are for the people that know me personally. They're not for like public view. And most of my videos used to be private, but it's easier to just put them public so they can get searched and found a lot easier. So you won't see me other than one video in which I wasn't talking to YouTube. I was talking to the people that know me, so they can get whenever I update something for them purposes. But you won't see me saying, hey, subscribe, click the button, and all that other stuff that YouTubers do. And I'm not knocking anybody that's a YouTuber for that. That's the way that you move. That's for you to say and do and blah, blah. I don't do this for money. This is my unscripted, unpaid, unsolicited opinion. So for some folks, they're not gonna like my opinion, and that's fine. Like, I mean, there are a ton of other videos, probably not for GTV yet, that you can watch, but there are a ton of other videos on YouTube, and you can click one of those to exit the stage. So in other contexts, anyone else that's like looking for, I guess, unpaid, for me to Formula, because I fuck with Formula. Like, I fuck with Formula. I think Formula is the best IPTV or device out. Like, nobody's touching Formula, in my personal opinion. And that's just my opinion. I've dealt with other devices and so on, but nobody's touching Formula. And at this point, and even with this device that me not liking, is basically, to me, it's like giving Formula a heads up to say, hey, what do you think? Is that I'm that test market person to say, hey, I didn't like it, and I didn't like it for this reason. Like, they didn't pay me to give them a yes. That's kind of what I don't really like, where you have some people that always just like yes man and say yes to everything, when the shit is really not all that great. So in this context, it's like having a booger in your nose and you walk around all day and your friend just doesn't say anything to you because they're the yes. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm the friend that's gonna tell you, hey, you got a goddamn booger in your nose, take it out, fix that. I'm still your friend. I still fuck with you. So in the context of this, I still fuck with Formula, but this is that booger in the lineup. Like, it's just not popping right now. And I'll get into we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna bust it down, and break down the reasons why I don't like it. But here's for an example of reason why I say I fuck with Formula. Like, I fuck with Formula. Like, can you imagine box too big to get in the, but any of these fit inside of that, if you understand what I'm saying. So like, I fuck with Formula, so hit the goddamn thing. All right, so fucking with that big ass box, I ended up hitting the camera, knocking stuff down, and so on. But hopefully you get my point. Like, to the folks at Formula, like, I still really like you. Like, hopefully y'all still fuck with me after me saying what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying it in a spiteful way to like down you. I'm just breaking down my honest opinion of my experience. I really stand by and stand behind and push Formula like it's a part of my collection, if you understand what I'm saying. And that's because I am a user myself. Like, I am a Formula consumer myself first, before soliciting it to anybody else. I use it myself to know the ins and the outs and the breakdowns and the blah 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 and the this and the that. So this is Thanksgiving, Black Friday weekend, and this was my PlayStation and this was my Xbox. Like, this was the thing that I was most excited about getting into and dealing with and having so much fun with this device. And as you watch the video, the previous video, when I'm opening it, like, I'm excited because, like I said, I opened that with you. It was my first time seeing it and going through it, and man, I'm thinking, like many of folks thought, this is it. This is, you got a Pro that just dropped. And for me, on a side note, I put 200 Pros on hold. Like, I had an order pending, order still pending. Like, he ain't heard from me back. Like, what's good? And because I was like, oh, the GTV coming out, before I buy all these Pros, let me see what's up on the GTV first, and then maybe I'll split the order and do 1 and 1. But I did 2, fortunately. And with these 2, I'm looking, and as you see me go through the video, I don't know if anybody paid attention to the tempo of me talking. I cut a lot of stuff out. Like, I went back and removed statements and put shit on Chipmunk and tried to speed it up. That speeding up for 2 reasons. One of them was to respect a lot of your time, because I just respect your time, and speeding up may only save 5 minutes of your time, but it's still 5 minutes of your life that you have to yourself instead of watching something else, or you could do something else. So anyways, for me and for like many of folks, like, we were looking towards this, like, oh man, like, this is the next thing. It's the Pros Pro. Like, you have a Z8 and the Z8 has raves. Like, the Z8 is triple platinum, like 10 times platinum. Like, you understand what I'm trying to say. That's the Z8. The Z8 Pro, like, whoa, a Pro? You got a Pro to it? Oh, even though I have a Z8, I gotta go ahead and get a Pro. That's how I know folks also should probably be. This GTV was like the Pro to the Z8 Pro. Like, yo, they got a GTV. What the hell? Like, that's what I want. So some folks probably cop, and I ain't gonna say probably, a lot of folks cop or bought the Pro and were like, damn, I should have waited and got the GTV. Oh man, you know how many comments is probably were folks that say, man, I should have got the GTV, or blah 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 blah. And then look how many folks who probably did wait on the Pro and decided to go the GTV route. And that hype, that anticipation to get it, and then it be a... I'm gonna show you what it actually is to me, what it correlates to be to me. One moment. Don't mind my armband. Every time I go to work, we get a temperature check, and they anyways, this is what we had been waiting for. This is that GTV. This is it. But look at that box. Now, if this was in a store, if this was like on a shelf, and you had the option to like look at it and observe it and like to consume where is it going, you're thinking, man, we official now. For the folks who've been waiting and looking for like to get around that Netflix add-on problem, get over the YouTube not actually working all the way right, and a whole lot of other things. Now you're thinking GTV is an Android. Oh, it's an Android box. Oh, it's official. We're official. Why get a Pro and a... It's gonna take what the Pro and the 8 has, and it's gonna be that plus the Android already inclusive. Oh man, this box here is going to rumble in the jungle. You can think of a ton of terms that this here is gonna be, and I have to take a moment of silence because they're damn near one and the same. You just gave me all of this bundle to basically be a high-end... I'm not even gonna say the term and say the word. Y'all get what I'm saying. A high-end... We'll get into the details, but I kind of spoke on them a little bit where I was talking about how you go to the Google Play Store on this and you're limited. Can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. So you know what I did? I got some questions asked. I got some information given. And in the questions asked and in the information given, they did answer some things that I could not find and I didn't know where it was at, and whatever. So what I was given as far as, hey, well, you can't Google Play add this or that or whatever. Go ahead and do what you do to this. Y'all know what we have to do to this to get things on there. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? You want me to side load on the GTV? Like the new, I don't even know the word to say, like I'm at a loss. Like, that's crazy. This is it. I have to now side load apps on here. And then the problem here, let me add, some folks gonna say, well, side loading is not that bad. Side loading is, all right, if you're doing side loading for yourself, maybe you wouldn't mind side loading or whatever. But you know, sometimes the APKs that you add won't work. So now you got to do this searching game of, okay, will this work? Will that? Are you serious? We're supposed to be way past that. This is GTV, man. This is above the Pro. This is the Pro's Pro. This is the Android box. This is here. When this was released, it's supposed to have been solved. All the problems that we would have had to deal with as far as it goes to side loading something on a device that come on, man. The brand has been built. Like I've seen some videos where folks talk about the old brands and so on. And I'm not gonna get into all those old brands, but what I will say is to say, like, look at the progress that has come from a ZX to a Z7 to a Z8 to go to this. I mean, you think with being an Android TV box, we're in the building now. We're in the game. That's what I was thinking. But hooked it up and I mean, the best thing that it has going is right there. That's it. Take this off of this device, remove this program, remove this app, remove this, whatever you want to call it. What do you have? Okay, maybe you'll give it that it has the RAM and it has the CPU. Not really. I'll get into that and I'll show you that too. Not really. At least by performance scale, when you put it on the dyno, and you understand what I'm saying. When I put it on the dyno, oh man, the legs start shaking. It's like that guy that picked up all that weight and he thought he can hold it. His legs. You've been to the gym. You got all that weight up under you, and them arms start shaking. Goddamn. So what I'm saying, why I don't like it, and I feel like it might have the power under it. It has the engine, perhaps. It needs to be tuned. It should not have been released without being tuned. But I feel you. Get your money. It's Black Friday. Like, everybody dropping something. You want to go ahead and drop something to get you some money too. I feel you. Go ahead. But for me, like, the real, like, user, like, is like, what the hell? I was like all hyped up thinking y'all was ready. Like, PlayStation ain't released that PS5 thinking, hey, we halfway there, goddammit, fuck it. Let's just do it. But that's how I perceive this, and that's why I said, like, you never know, future updates and so on. And yeah, I really did feel like this was it. Like, I was happy, like oh man, I like this shit. But you get me further and further and further and further down in that other video as y'all were watching with me, and I hopefully you seen my tone was like, well, damn. So take away that. And then the crazy thing, this, all of the rest of that, how they line them up together, that's kind of crazy. But hey, that's above my pay grade. So if, in a nutshell, what it really did to me and how it affected a whole lot of other people as far as what it was built up to be. And then you're gonna have some folks that's gonna say, like, oh, well, you know, we didn't really hype it up. And yeah, the hype didn't mean that you had to get it and all. Come on, man. You didn't de-hype it either. Or I can't think of the proper term to say that it wasn't dumbed down to say, hey, this is not really our normal thing or whatever. That wasn't done either. And I say that to say, like, I listened to a song of one of my favorite artists the other day, and it's an old song, an old interview where he was talking about, I want to say, like, he was talking about Carter 3. And he was like, nah, I'm not going to call this the Carter 3 because folks have come to know what the Carter 3 is. And this is not that. So, you know, I'm going to leave that alone. And we're going to call it something else. I haven't come up with the name, which he ended up calling it like some Unplugged or some shit. And it wasn't called Carter 3. Because he was like, he said in the interview, is gonna be folks that's not gonna like this, and I don't want them to not like Carter 3. So what I'm trying to say is maybe this is the reason they didn't call this a Z10, and maybe we should just be happy they didn't call this a Z anything. I said a lot. I've said a lot. For this is not a formula. This is like the stepchild. This is not of the bloodline of what Formula has. And it's so many, it's things that are missing that are like to the core of what. Fuck it. Let's just get into the dyno. I'm tired of talking. So I can presume if I added Hulu would be down here, and so on and so on. All right, so I'm doing a couple things, and this thing is handling horribly compared to the Z8. I decided to do a side-by-side on the performance aspect of the GTV versus a Z8, and this is the Z8. I just started it up, and in my initial startup, I'm running the same app, and I see that I have 1.2 gigahertz on the CPU, and on the RAM I know it's really hard to see with this, I have 1900 megabytes on the RAM. For the GTV, and this was the Z8. On the GTV, I have 1.8 gigahertz and 2008 on the megabytes for the RAM on the GTV. However, on the startup, the RAM is basically the same. They're at 44%, but the CPU is going crazy on the GTV. I mean, you just saw what it was at, and now it's at 81, and I haven't done anything. We're basically sitting on this screen, and it's just going bananas. Z8 is basically holding in the 20s. I see it as like 28, 29, 28. I don't know, like, so this is a side-by-side as far as the space. I have 11 point space, and the space on this says I have 11.8, and I'm using hardly nothing on the storage. On this, I'm using about 2 gigs on the storage. So, I mean, you do your own analysis. Look here now, it's down to 56% usage, but why was it at 100? When nothing was going on. Just by opening my TV, it's at 100. So let's do the same thing here. So initially upon the open, I was at 60 something, 64. But now that it is open, it's back down to 32. It's performing way better. Over here, we're just sitting on 100. So what has happened with the device is it has kicked me out of my TV, but it did not say like my TV online has crashed. Like I was doing a whole lot of like moving around, like I'll change the channels like a Bat Out of Hell and things like that, or switching from movies, and it'll kick me out of my TV online and put me back on the home screen, but it didn't say that it crashed. It just like kicked me out of it, if you understand what I'm saying. This is just a side note. A dude had asked me something about, made a statement in the comments that, hey, I didn't go into the about. So while I'm talking, I'm gonna just be scrolling through the about so you can see what I might have missed going through the about portion. So this is for you, person who asked about what was in there about. All right, so let me keep going. I think it's confirmed at this point that it does not have mount, drive, network storage, and it does not have backup and restore. And that's crazy. Like, you need backup and restore if you're gonna be side loading shit that may fuck it up. You cannot back it up to restore it if you fuck it up on doing the side load. And then not having the network storage and the mount drive, that's like so backwards, because that set the older boxes apart from all the rest of the boxes that were out there, because you were able to seamlessly record on one device and then watch it on another device. And by not having that there, now you got to plug the little thumb drive into each individual device. So GTV and GTV couldn't share with each other because they don't have network storage anymore. You just got to plug the little thumb drive in the side and have to deal with it. It just throws me. How does the next thing come out and is the 8-ball? I mean, it's behind what it is it called a predecessor? It's behind its predecessor. Or am I saying that shit right? It's the predecessor, or is it the predecessor? Predecessor. How did that term go? Y'all understand what the fuck I'm trying to say? It is the next thing. So how the fuck is it less than the thing that it supersedes, or it goes after? It should have everything that the old device has plus more. It should be building on that thing, not going backwards to where, oh, we got to catch up to what the other one have and then we'll surpass it. No, you surpass it and then you go beyond where the other one. That's what makes a person buy the newer thing, because the old one, it is gonna have to catch up to get to where the new one is. And yeah, you can't compare a PS4 to a 5. It's not fucking happening. You can't a 3 to a. You get what I'm saying? It's just, man, how you take away network storage is so important, but it ain't there no more. So you just gotta plug in your USB drive into the side of the GTV, and that's how you're gonna rock for a little while. And at least you'll be able to use, at least minimum, you'll be able to use it to pause and all of that other stuff, which is also important. But all of that sharing, jumping from here to there or whatever. I have kids. I don't know if you hear my kids in the background, but they will come into a room and be like, hey, this is our room now, Daddy. Find another place, because we in here now. So I really don't mind, depending on unless they're in here, like I do. But otherwise, they control the house. The house is theirs, no problem. You want me? I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'll go into my room. You know, I tell them to go in their room. They tell me, go in your room. If they kick me out of any other place and I have that GTV solely in here as the main streaming device, oh, I'm fucked, because I cannot watch what I pressed record somewhere else, if you understand what I'm saying. I've already talked about the apps, so there's no need to really rehash what they do not do. Like, is not all the way there. So that's another problem. It's another thing that I don't like, that I will have to go through the ringer on the apps. The last thing that I would say is the remote. The remote, as I said in the beginning, when I did that pairing of the remote, it has the Bluetooth capability now. So that's kind of a problem, because if you remember in the other video, I said the Bluetooth pairing was probably going to be a problem of the remote. It is a problem. The remotes are 1-in-1. So the one remote only goes to that box. If you try to use it on the other box, you will end up having to pair it, and you will need another remote to actually get to the functions to pair it. And then once you pair it, then it's now to that box. You can't take it back and use it on another box without having to go through the same annoying process again. So then you go to the old remotes. The old remotes, half the functions don't work. The basic function of up and down, EPG, that kind of works. But if you try to do the record and the other buttons and so on, they don't even respond. They don't even light up the box at all. And if you use an air mouse remote, the air mouse remote works pretty well as far as now you can get the arrow cursor, because on this new Bluetooth remote, I can't find the cursor at all. But when you use the air mouse remote and you press like the volume up, then it says no channels found, and then it brings up like the side EPG pane, and it's just a So is a remote enough to stop you from getting a device? Probably not. A remote, I mean, that's just a learning curve. That's something that you will get over and find another way, get an air mouse remote and so many other things. You not having the storage, not being able to record and watch it on another GTV, for an example, and you have multiple GTVs throughout your location, are mixing the GTV with an 8 and a Pro, not being able to do that, is that a downside? Not being able to download apps, having to side load the apps, I don't think Netflix works at all. Like, it gives a complete error. Maybe side loading an old version of it, an old version like the one that works on the 8. Maybe that might be the solution. I don't know. But hopefully this lets y'all get a better insight of why I said what I said. All right, peace.